Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Easter. Nearly.
Good Friday.
Happy
And
Good
what
Friday.
do you have on Good Friday?
We're making a fish pie, guys. Fish. You have fish on Good Friday. So we, again, are using what we've got. So we've got some lovely salmon here, fresh salmon, which I've just cut into cubes about this size. And some king prawns, shelled. They came like that. They were frozen too. We're going to put some leeks in ours.
Oh, I like how you've chopped some up.
Thanks. It's because I'm going to show you a trick.
Oh.
There's always some dirt in between the leaves of leeks. So a good trick is, even if this was just half a leek that I had left over in the fridge, but even if it was a whole leek, just cut it straight down the middle, and then from the rooted end, so we're just going to do it from this end, you just run some water through and the dirt will all wash out. Yeah?
Okay. Finishing cutting the clean leeks.
Finishing cutting the clean leeks, rocking motion going well down to the fingers, and get rid of that end part. Nice and fine, just in half, very simple, very easy. Now we've cut up our leeks, so they're nice and fine. We're going to turn on this pan, just a simple non-stick frying pan, just on a low heat. We're going to splosh a little bit of olive oil in. Then we're going to put our leeks in here, just to sweat down. They'll take a few minutes, but that's fine. Season up your leeks. Nice bit of pepper, bit of salt.
Oh.
In this pan here, so this is our dish that we're going to be making the fish pie in.
Very small.
It's for two of us.
Oh, yes.
And it's way too big for two of us.
Is
So
it?
with our fish that we've cut into sort of bite-sized cubes, we're going in raw.
Raw fish.
So obviously it'll cook down, so let's just leave it in there. Other elements for a fish pie.
Yes.
You obviously... Let's start that again. Retake.
Rewind. When the crowd say bow, selector. Rewind. When the crowd say bow, selector. Rewind.
So, other elements for a fish pie we need are a white sauce that we're going to be making in here.
Yeah.
Just going to put that onto a low heat. In there, we've literally just got, I don't know, probably about 20 grams of butter on a lowish heat. We're just going to let that melt. Mashed potato. So I've just to save time in the video, I just peeled some potatoes. We only had baby potatoes, so I peeled those. They're in there, they're bubbling away. Good trick with root vegetables that you're boiling. Always start them in cold water. So don't do the boil the kettle into the potatoes, da 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 da. They'll cook equally as quickly, if not better, in cold water. Bring to boil, simmer, cook until they're tender. So I'm going to get my whisk, just help the butter along.
So this is a roux
Yep, we're making a roux.
or white sauce.
We're making a white sauce,
See if
but
that-
butter's basically melted. The next thing we're going to go in with, plain flour. So about, I'm going to do it by eye, but about to 20 grams of butter, I would say probably a tablespoon of flour. So we're now just cooking out the roux. So you're cooking out the flour in the roux. You don't want it to be flour heavy, you want it to be butter heavy. So that is the sort of consistency that you're looking for a roux. I think that's like Nutella vibes.
Okay. That's it. There you heard it here first. Nutella.
Make your roux the same consistency as Nutella, or like a peanut butter. And then we're going to move it around, but it doesn't need to be watched as much as you think. You're waiting for it to go slightly sandy sort of texture, lighter in colour, foamy, it'll do that, and then you just need to be patient and wait for it to get to what I'm going to show you is the right sort of texture for it. But you want all of it to do it. It'll take a little while, and you just don't want the raw flour taste. This is what we're looking for. That's gone a lot lighter, and you can see it bubbling and fizzing. It's looking sandy, but that's what we're looking for. Okay. So now some people will heat their milk up. I'm lazy. So I don't really, unless I'm making a proper bechamel, which has you know, bay leaves and peppercorns, etc. in. This is just how I do it for a white sauce, for macaroni cheese, fish pie, etc. So you'll notice that nothing really happens. It's not looking thick, and then suddenly, there it goes. Oh,
Damn, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. So, we're just going to keep slowly adding the milk. If I were doing this with all the ingredients in the world, what we would have done is use smoked haddock. So if it is quite a heavy smoke on the smoked haddock from a, you know, fishmonger, usually they have a better smoke than a supermarket, then I would poach the haddock in my milk separately, make my roux, and then add the smoky, fishy milk into this. Other things that you could do, Sainsbury's do a really lovely fish pie mix. It's not too expensive. It's got prawns, salmon and smoked haddock, and I think maybe some cod. And it's just really good. They use the tail ends, which is absolutely fine when you're doing a fish pie. And usually when it comes as a mix like that, I just put all of that in there because the smoke on the haddock isn't harsh enough that it's going to completely overtake all the rest of the flavours of the fish. So just keep adding your milk slowly bit by bit.
How much milk are you going for?
What is that?
Milk.
Probably about 500 mils for 2 people. So our sauce is now thick enough. So the way to check your sauce is thick enough, and the same with custards, etc., is to do this, draw a line with your finger, and if it stays there, that's how you know.
Lovely.
So we're just going to add a little bit of English mustard in, just for a bit of flavour. So I've added a little bit of English mustard, about half a teaspoon, not very much. This is also where I would then usually add some fresh herbs, so really nice with dill, a little bit of parsley, that's always delicious. Unfortunately, we don't have that, but that's fine. So then what we're just going to do is make sure you season your sauce. Taste it as you go along. What?
You just came really close then.
Okay. So season your sauce. Give it another little taste. If it's just you eating, use the same spoon. Yummy. So that's our white sauce. Done. So here are our leeks. They've wilted down. They were sizzling away. But it's nice to have the vibrant green. So I'm just going to add those into the white sauce. Stir those through. So then...
This is super easy.
It is, isn't it? So then what we're going to do is we're just going to pour this over the top of the fish.
Ooh.
We're just going to throw this on top of the fish. Literally. Make sure it's all out.
No wastage.
Give it a scrape. So, stirred that through. Fish is all nicely covered in the sauce. There's a nice little bit for the mashed potato to go on top. So now it's time to make our mash. So we've drained our potatoes. I check them with a knife. When they fall off the knife, that's when you know a potato is cooked. I'm going to cut a little bit of butter. Pop that in there.
Just a little bit.
Just a whickle bit. Splash of milk for now. And we go! Mashed potato. I'm going to add a tiny bit more milk in, just because it's feeling a bit taggy. I'm also going to season it up with some salt and some pepper. And then that can just be stirred through. So then to get this is obviously still quite warm. To get the mash to work well, the best thing to do is to blob it over, not put it all in one and try to push it. I go around the edges, just like this, because then you're locking in that white sauce. Can you see what I'm doing there?
Yeah, boy.
So we're just sort of making a barrier for it.
We may not have enough mash here. No, we're quite limited at this challenging time. Might be able to make it work.
Look at that.
Boom! So this is what it looks like once you've eased it all in. Then clean up your edges. Chef's perks there. Mmm, so creamy! And then if you want to, you can either divot it, so you can do this, but it gives you the crispy bits. I like to do, this is what my mother used to do. One line that way, one line that way, one line that way.
Like a football pitch.
One line that way, one line that way, One line that way.
Oh, like a crossword puzzle.
And then that is ready. So that can now sit in your fridge overnight and be ready for the next day. Or it can be frozen at this point if you want to. If you haven't used already frozen fish, so you've used fresh fish, then you could freeze this at this point. We're going to cook it this evening, so in a couple of hours. Preheat your oven to 180, 200, depending on how hot your oven is. And then it'll go in for about 35 minutes. So 35 minutes until it's bubbling around the edge. I suggest putting it on a tray for spillage, and until the top is yummy and crispy. Extra crispy, add breadcrumbs to the top.